Hello guys, I hope you all had a lovely tech holiday. For now we are going to have to do online lessons, so this is the first video of our first lesson online. The unit today is Unit 5. We are talking about homes and shops. That'll be on page 38 and 39 of your student books. Now, we all know what a home is, which is where we live. We should all know what a shop is, it's where we buy things. In part 1 of our, in part 1 on page 38, we have around 15 words that we, things that we might find around our home. Places in the town, the city, the country. So we have a square, a park, a market, bus station, station, a lake, a beach, the sea, a river, a museum, an airport, mountains, a road, a cafe, a bar, a shop, a flat or an apartment, a house, a hotel, and a bed and breakfast. Now, there are a lot of words to talk about there, so we won't talk about them all. I'll choose maybe 3 or 4, and we can, I'll tell you what they mean, and maybe discuss a little bit more about them, okay? So, the first one that we are going to look at is a museum. Now, museums are mainly found in cities, sometimes in towns, but they're mainly found in cities. Now, what is kept at a museum? What do you do in a museum? Well, maybe things from the past, so maybe some artifacts or precious items that you can go and look at. Can be things throughout history, or even things a little bit more recently. So in Hanoi they have the military museum, in Saigon they have the war museum, so it gives you information about maybe what happened in the past, and you can see some items that were used. The next one that we can choose is, let's go for a market. Now, a market can sell a lot of different things. It is different to a shop, all right? It is not necessarily one building, so you will have many different people selling things in one place. So it could be clothes, it could be fruit, toys, anything, all right? And the last one that we can talk about, let's go for hotel. And I think we will know that a hotel is somewhere where we can pay money to stay. So we will get our own room, we'll have a bathroom, TV, bed. Normally you would stay in a hotel when you go on holiday, but you could also need to stay in a hotel when you go away with work, or I don't know, maybe if you go on a business trip, some things like this, all right? Now, the next question I want to ask is, what is important where you live? Now, let's not think about Tang Yuan at the moment, okay? Because when we speak next time, I would like you to tell me about what is important in Tang Yuan. So you can think about that for 1 minute. For now, I will tell you what is important where I come from, Liverpool. Now, Liverpool is close to the sea. Where's the sea? Liverpool is close to the sea, okay? So the sea is actually very important in Liverpool. It is close to the Irish Sea. So many years ago, Liverpool was used as the #1 place in England where things entered the country. So that was before aeroplanes. Now, I would say it is not as important as what it was, but it is still quite a big attraction when people go and visit Liverpool. The next one we can talk about are museums. Now, museums are also very important in Liverpool. They have museums about music, they have museums about football, and they have museums about why the sea is important in Liverpool. Let's go for number 3. Let's talk about the airport. Now, the airport is also very important in the city of Liverpool. There are many different countries around England, so you can get to many places in Europe very quickly. For example, you can go from Liverpool Airport to Germany in maybe 1 or 2 hours. So it is a good place to see the rest of the continent. We'll choose one more. Let's choose bars. Now, bars, as we know, are places that we can go and socialise or relax, maybe drink beer or drink wine. Bars are very important in Liverpool. The people of Liverpool like drinking, and they are open throughout the night, and it's a good place to just chill out and a good place to relax, all right? Now, on the side of our page here, we have 2 photos. And there is one other photo on page 39. So can we look at page 38 and 39 for now? We have Auckland, a photo of Auckland. We have a photo of Keswick. And we have a photo of Iris. Okay. Now, Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand, okay? It's home to around 1.4 million people. So we know now that Auckland is the city. Keswick, which is our second picture, is a small town in England, all right? It is in a place called the Lake District. So there are many beautiful mountains, beautiful lakes, rivers, and many tourists go there every year. So we know that Keswick is our town. So Auckland is our city, Keswick is our town. And our last one, Iris, that is, the picture is on page 39, so we can look at that one now. Iris is a very small village in Ireland, okay? It doesn't have that many people living there, but it's a very attractive place nonetheless. Okay, if you just give me 1 minute and we will move on to the next part on page 38, okay? See you soon. Okay, welcome back. At the bottom of page 38, we have some examples, okay, there are 9 examples here of when we use stress in sentences. Maybe we'll go through the first 5 and we will look at where the stress happens and why it happens, okay? So, number 1, there's a beautiful lake near the town. So, as you can see, we have a little dot here, here, and here. Now, this is where the stress in our voice is said, okay? There is a beautiful lake near the town. So as we can see, the word beautiful, lake, and town, our voice is stressed, okay? Or there is stress on these words. All right, let's look at number 2. There's only one road. There's only one road. Now we have stress on 3 words. Only one and road, all right? There's only one road. Part 3, there are lots of things to do in the evening. Now we have stress on 4 of our words. We have lots, things, do, and evening. There are lots of things to do in the evening. Part 4, just one example of stress in this one, and that is on the word hotel. So, is there a hotel? Is there a hotel? And for now, we'll just do number 5. 2 examples of stress. We have, there are lots of mountains. There are lots of mountains. Now, all of these words, beautiful, lake, town, only, one, road, and so on, all of these are stressed, okay? Now, we have a question at the bottom. Are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and negatives? So, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and negatives, are they usually stressed or unstressed in sentences? Well, we have beautiful, which is an adjective, lake, which is a noun, excuse me, town, which is a noun, thing, or lots of things to do, that can be our verb. Negatives, do we have any negatives? In part 6, we have 1 negative, aren't, okay? So, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and negatives are usually stressed in our sentences, alright? When we talk again in person, we will practice these sentences again, alright, with the stress, and we can hope that we are putting them in the right places, alright? The last thing we are going to do on page 38 is look at the question down here. Alright, let's see. Which place would you like to visit? So we are thinking and talking about our 3 pictures. Auckland, Keswick, and Iris. So that would be our city, town, and village. Again, when we talk in person, you can tell me about where you would like to visit. So maybe think of 2 or 3 reasons about why you would like to visit one of these places. All right. For now, I can tell you which one I would like to visit. For me, Keswick would be my preferred place to visit. Why? Because it is in a beautiful part of the countryside. So we have beautiful mountains, beautiful lakes, rivers, streams, and you can go walking, go hiking, and it has a lot of fresh air, no pollution. So for me, that's why I would choose Keswick. Okay, when we come back, we will be going on to page 39, okay? So turn the page, and I will see you in a moment. Hello again, guys. Page 39 now, as I mentioned. The first thing, there's our beautiful picture of Iris, now we can all see it. First thing that we need to look at is our grammar, alright? So part 7 says fill in the gaps in the table with so we have apostrophe S, is, are, isn't, and aren't. So we must think which is positive and which is negative. For positive, and we can see it is singular, so 1, we use, so we can say there is a beautiful lake, so we can use apostrophe S or is. Okay. For our negative, our negative rule, we can say, so we have there's something, a park near our flat. So it is singular, we would use isn't, alright? So for singular, we use isn't, is or are, and for plural, we can use are. Now, questions. How will we ask a question? So we have something, there a hotel. Now it is singular again, so we can use the word is. Is there a hotel? For our short answers, still on singular, we can say yes, there is. Oh. Yes, there is. And for our negative answer, we can say no, there isn't. Alright? So always for singular, we use the word is or isn't. For plural, so some things that are more than one, our positive rule, there is something, lots of things to do. So there are lots, because it is plural, of things, again plural, to do. Our negative rule, there, if it's not are, it will be aren't. Aren't any restaurants. Again, the S makes it plural. Our questions. So we have something. There any cheap places to stay? Again, because it is plural, are there any cheap places? So the S on place makes it plural. Our short answers, again, quite easy. Keeping in with the rule of are, so yes, there are for positive, and no, there aren't for negative. All right. For now, we need to move on to part 8, okay? So just give me 1 moment and I'll be coming back with you in 2 minutes. Okay, change of plan. We will look at part 9 first, all right? Now, we still need to think about our grammar in part 7, and then we need to add in, okay, our missing words to all of the 8 questions. So it says, look at the table, complete questions 1 to 8 with is there or are there. So, number 1, we have a park. Now, a park is singular, so it would be is there. All right. Part 2, we have any shops. No. Shops is plural, so when we use our plural rule would be are, so number 2 would be are there, and then we just carry on. So plural restaurants, again that would be are. Station is singular, so it would be is. Any nice cafes are. Our market, singular is, don't forget there. Any nice hotels are, and a cinema or a theatre is, okay? Alright, 2 minutes. We can move on to part 8 and then finally we will look at part 10 and what you can do before we talk again in person, okay? So just 1 moment, then we'll move on to part 8. Alright, the last thing we'll do together today is part 8, and we have 8 questions, and they all have a tick or a cross, which means they are positive or negative. So, our first positive example is there are lots of good shops, and our first negative example, there isn't a station. So, number 3, we have a missing word and we need to use apostrophe S, are, isn't, or aren't. Okay, so we need to choose this one, apostrophe S, are, isn't or aren't, for our 6 missing words. So, number 3 is positive. So, it will be either one of these two. We have our 2 positive and our 2 negative. So there's something, a big theatre by the lake. Now, theatre is singular, so we can just use the apostrophe and S, alright? Number 4 is negative. So we have there's something, any 5-star hotels. Now, hotels is plural, so we need to use aren't. Number 5 is positive. There's something, 3 interesting museums. Again, museums is plural, so we use are. Number 6 is also positive. We have a nice old cinema. The word cinema is not plural, so it is singular, and we use the word is. Number 7 is negative. We have an airport near the town. It's a negative singular, we know is isn't. And last one, a positive. We have 2 lovely parks. And parks, as we can hear by the S at the end, is plural. So there are 2 lovely parks. Now that is all the questions for today. Before we meet next time, I'd just like us to think about part 10, alright? It says, choose a favourite place. So that can be a town, a city, a village. Can be in Vietnam, or it can be anywhere. Choose anywhere. Maybe a place you'd like to go on holiday, maybe a place you have visited for the day. You can choose Hanoi, you can choose Tai Nguyen. So I want you to look at all of these these things that we find in places. It says put a tick or a cross. So first, put a tick or a cross next to the words. Secondly, I want you to prepare something so you can talk for, let's say, 1 minute to me about your favourite place. Now, I told you about Liverpool, okay? So, the only thing you need to do, talk for 1 minute about what your favourite place has in it, alright? So it could be a lake, river, good hotels, nice cafes, big hotels, interesting shops, can be anything, alright? But for now, that is everything for today. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.